Welcome to History's Tapestry, where every thread tells a story. In this series, we'll delve into the fascinating and often overlooked stories that make up our past. We believe that every individual, every event, every moment contributes to the rich tapestry of history. Join us as we explore these threads, one story at a time.
What if I told you that a boy who once sold newspapers to support his family would one day become India's missile man and its most beloved president? This is not just the story of a scientist, but a man who inspired an entire nation. From rocket launches to presidential speeches, from science to spirituality, this is the extraordinary journey of Dr. Abdul Kalam. Imagine a tiny fishing village, waves crashing against the shore, and a young boy waking up at dawn, not for school, but to distribute newspapers. That boy was none other than Abdul Kalam. Kalam was born in Rameswaram, a small town in Tamil Nadu, on October 15, 1931. His father owned a boat, but life was tough. Even as a child, Kalam had a deep sense of responsibility and started selling newspapers to support his family. But there was something about him, a spark, a curiosity, a hunger to learn. One day, young Kalam's math teacher, who was known for being strict, lost his temper and threw a chalk piece at him for not paying attention. The reason? Kalam was busy sketching an airplane in his notebook, dreaming of flying when he should have been solving equations. Little did that teacher know, the boy would one day build real rockets. What if your dream university almost rejected you? Would you give up? Or fight back? Well, Kalam faced this exact challenge. Kalam studied physics at St. Joseph's College, but had only one dream, to become an aeronautical engineer. When he applied to the prestigious Madras Institute of Technology, MIT, he almost lost his chance because his grades weren't high enough. But instead of accepting defeat, he pleaded for one more chance, and his determination won over the selection committee. Kalam was once working so hard at MIT that he accidentally spilled hot tea all over his blueprints. His professor was furious, but Kalam, ever the problem solver, calmly dried the papers and carried on like nothing happened. Imagine this. You're given a bunch of spare parts and asked to launch a satellite. Sounds impossible? Well, Kalam and his team actually did it. When Kalam joined ISRO, India's space program was practically non-existent. In 1980, he led the team that successfully launched India's first indigenous satellite launch vehicle, SLV-3, putting Rohini satellite into space. But getting there wasn't easy. India lacked resources, and they had to use bullock carts to transport rocket parts. Once, when working on a missile project, Kalam and his team were so busy that they lost track of time. When someone reminded him about dinner, he joked, "Who needs food when you have rocket fuel?" Ever been so deep into your work that you forget the world around you? Well, Dr. Kalam took it to a whole new level. In the 1980s, Kalam became the leader of India's missile program. Under his leadership, India developed the Prithvi and Agni missiles, making the country self-reliant in defense. He would often work 18-hour days, sleeping in the laboratory itself. One night, a colleague found him fast asleep on a pile of blueprints. When asked why he was sleeping there, Kalam replied, "Why waste time going home when my dreams are right here?" What happens when a rocket scientist becomes the president of a country? You get a leader like no other. In 2002, India chose Dr. Kalam as its 11th president. But even in the grand halls of Rashtrapati Bhavan, he remained as humble as ever. He refused to accept expensive gifts, loved interacting with school children, and kept his scientific curiosity alive. Kalam once shocked his security guards by insisting on carrying his own luggage at the airport. When someone reminded him he was the president, he laughed and said, "Yes, but I am still Abdul Kalam first." Have you ever met someone who made you believe that anything is possible? That was Dr. Kalam for millions of young Indians. Dr. Kalam didn't just talk about rockets, he talked about dreams. He wanted India to become a developed nation by 2020. His book India 2020 became a roadmap for future generations. He traveled across the country, delivering thousands of lectures, and always ended with one message: dream big, work hard, and never give up. Once, after an inspiring lecture, a student nervously asked, "Sir, can I shake hands with you?" Kalam not only shook his hand, but also took a selfie with the entire class.
What if I told you that, DR?
Kalam's final moments were exactly how he would have wanted them, teaching, inspiring, and surrounded by students. On July 27, 2015, while delivering a lecture at IIM Shillong, Kalam collapsed on stage. His last words before collapsing were, "How can we make the world more livable?" Even in his final moments, he was thinking about the future of the world. India lost a legend that day, but his words, his dreams, and his vision live on. He may have left us, but his message remains: dream, dream, dream. Dreams transform into thoughts, and thoughts result in action. DR. Kalam always said, you have to dream before your dreams can come true. So here's a question for you. What's your dream? And how are you going to make it happen? As we celebrate the life of DR. Abdul Kalam, let's take inspiration from his journey. If a small-town boy can become a world-renowned scientist, if a missile engineer can become a president, then anything is possible. So dream big, work hard, and make a difference. That's what Kalam would have wanted. Thank you for watching. If DR. Kalam's story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, dreams are not what you see in sleep, but the things that keep you awake at night. That's all for today's episode of History's Tapestry. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. Follow us on our social media platforms for more historical insights. Thank you for watching.